Go the Rams.
Adelaide to bring it out from their own line. Set by some very willing Auckland defence. Push back a couple of meters. It goes from nothing now. Pick up Doherty. It's down from his own line.
As now the Adelaide Rams make their way out onto Marathon Stadium for the first time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Rampage League podcast. And what a week it has been in rugby league. And we've got a lot to talk about tonight. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. As usual, I'm joined by Apai.
Yes.
How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm good. As I sort of stated beforehand, very cold here, so you won't be seeing any colourful jerseys here, folks, ladies and gentlemen. But I've got the Kathmandu rugged up. But like Darren said, we're on a bit of a time constraint here, so we'll kick things straight off. But yeah, Darren, if you wanted to, just feel free to let's just see where this takes us. Let's do it.
Sounds good to me. Yep. Yep. Go for it, Apai.
Yeah. So so obviously we all know what happened this round here in the NRL. There was a few good games there. I reckon Panthers winning the Bulldogs, beating the Bulldogs, was probably a really good game there. I don't think many people tipped the Panthers to win that one, but they've come out and they won, and they're showing that grit and grind. Look, followed by a few other games, the Cowboys beating the Titans in a close battle there. Warriors succumbing to the Broncos at the end there, losing Metcalf in the process to an ACL injury. Sea Eagles toppling over the Tigers, which was good to see there. I know a few of you listeners there will be very pleased about that one. And this Dragons beating the Eels, yes. I'm just basing this all off of memory, so if it's wrong, I apologize. But yeah, and there was another game of Storm beating, oh goodness, Sharks. That's right, Storm beating Sharks, and the Rabbitohs lost to the Dolphins. That's right, over in I believe that game was in Perth. I think was it? No, it wasn't. Apologies. So yeah, that was the sort of the games that was. Just to wrap it up, and obviously names have been named as well for Origin. So did you sort of want to hit the ad or forget about the ad? Let's just crunch into things, Darren.
I think we should just jump right into it and continue.
No worries, awesome. So again, we're going to make this nice and succinct, but we got the State of Origin next week over in good old Sydney, New South Wales. I know a few of you listeners there are very familiar with the place, so hello, hope you guys are well, and we'll be enjoying the Origin coming up. And as Darren said as well, a reminder, ladies and gents, we won't be on next week. We'll be back on the following week. So for all your, rugby league goss and news from South Australia, tune in the following week, not next week, the following week. So names have been named. Blues coming in unchanged virtually. Besides a bit of tinkering, probably in the reserves there. Kiraz, for example, being named in the squad there, 18th man. The Maroons have made a few interesting changes, Darren. The likes of a big Josh Papali'i coming back. Hearing the SOS call by Billy, donning on the Maroons jersey there, the Canberra Raiders great. Very interesting. What are your thoughts on Josh Papali'i coming back and playing for the Maroons?
That was a bit of a surprise, but no, I think he'll be an asset to the Maroons, and hopefully we can he'll put on a great game for us. But yeah, that's an excellent bring in for the Maroons.
It absolutely is, and obviously, Big Papa, as he's sort of nicknamed, announced his retirement 2 years ago from Origin. But again, what's that saying? Cometh the hour, cometh the man, something like that. Anyway, point is, he's back. Billy Slater called him. He's back, and he'll be sizing up against Payne Haas there, which would be really good. You got Waifudo playing at fullback, adds a bit more elusiveness. I think that the Maroons definitely need. But besides that, look, it's a decider. It's a decider. It's do or die. It's literally it here. And I know Darren and I we're big avid Blues fans here, so I guess I'll just go first and foremost. I'm going to tip the Blues here to win this game, and you know it's going to probably come back by me, but I'm trusting the boys to do this. They're going to win, and they're going to win well. 13 plus. I hope the Blues.
No, definitely, yes, definitely up the Blues, and hopefully it will be a big margin for the Blues over the Maroons.
Absolutely. So there, guys, that just about does it there for our Origin wrap up. And again, we look forward to the game next week. So I cannot wait to be sitting down watching that game. Now, uh, just quickly as well, guys. I'm not sure if you guys. This is out of the blue here. Even Darren is not even aware of this. There's a new rugby league game coming out, Rugby League 26. For all of you gamers there, like myself, who love to game about the console, I believe that'll be coming out next week, I think, or the week after. And that'll have all your latest NRL teams, Super League teams there for all of our Super League fans there. I go for the Catalan Dragons. So again, it's going to be all updated player models, all different stadiums. Hopefully, Adelaide Oval is in the game. It'll be great. It wasn't the last edition of the game. It was, but yeah, just stay tuned. Again, Rugby League 26 will be coming out in the coming weeks of this month. So I'm looking forward to it. Are you much of a gamer yourself, Darren?
Yes, yeah, I'm not currently up with the latest console. I'm still very old school. I've got a PlayStation 2. That's how far back, but I should really update my console and games. But yeah, I like getting behind the console occasionally. But that Rugby League 26 sounds excellent. That's really got me going. I might really have to get into a new console and rugby league.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, hey, there's nothing wrong having a PS2. I have one as well. But again, folks, get ready, get excited. Rugby League 26 coming up very soon on all your latest consoles. Now, Darren, you posted something in the group chat, and it got me really excited this morning. I was very happy and excited, and yeah, I was like, wow. If you don't mind telling these awesome people here, and again, ladies and gents, if you feel like you want to comment something, please feel to comment away. Let us know what your thoughts are, how you're going, what team you go for. Let us know what's happening in your world there, from Adelaide to Brisbane, from Brisbane to Perth. Hope you guys are all doing well there. But yeah, back again to you, Darren. Yeah, just please tell us again the awesome news.
Yes, thank you for that. And yes, a while ago, now probably a couple of months ago, I penned a letter to the South Australian Minister for Sport, Recreation, and thinking I wouldn't get a reply, as you write a letter, you don't always get a reply from ministers. But I got a really nice reply. I won't read it all, but it was quite a positive letter from the minister, and just read some what I think are the highlights of the letter. I appreciate, and I quote, I appreciate your advocacy and clear vision for how the NRL team could enhance our state. You rightly point out the broader community and economic impacts with a national rugby league present. The South Australian government will continue to explore new ideas which align to our vision for bringing people together, promoting healthy lifestyles, and providing an exciting way to build communities and connection. And so while any expansion of the NRL remains a decision for the league itself, I will ensure your views are noted and are considered. So, yeah, well, so from from the minister's point of view, it's definitely not a no. It's still there. So, I guess we can only hope that an opportunity comes up and well, my views on behalf of all Adelaide Rams fans will be noted and considered when the time comes.
First, I just want to thank you and yeah, for that letter, like awesome. And again, thanks to the sports minister as well for getting back. As you guys can probably notice, I'm just smiling. I'm really happy. That makes me pleased because as Darren said, guys, it's actually not a no. If anything, they said that it's actually in the NRL's court. Actually, it's actually in the NRL's court. So we're not saying no. They're actually open to the idea, possibly again, as Darren touched on, these economic growth, these communal growth, right? These lifestyle growths, all heading in a positive trajectory. So again, I'm absolutely just I yeah, like I said, I read it this morning. I couldn't believe it. It was, it's wow, it's awesome. Given their response, Darren, how did that make you feel reading that? Must have come by surprise.
It was actually, yeah, it took me by, surprise when I received it in my inbox and opened the attachment and read it. Thought, oh, well, yes, something they would definitely consider if the time is right, and not being an outright no or something that they're putting in too hard basket. No, I'm actually more excited than I was before I got the letter. And I read another letter that a colleague of mine sent straight to the Premier, and I found the letter I received actually from the appropriate minister to be more of on a positive note. So I guess now they've thrown the ball back to the NRL, and we've got to pressure the NRL to get conversation started.
Absolutely, and again, we emphasize this weekly, but this is an Adelaide Rams podcast in Adelaide. For all rugby league lovers here in Adelaide and South Australia as a whole, really. And again, that's just awesome news. And I, yeah, look, you can't really read too much into that. To a degree, you can't. There's not really too many parts there to pick out, but namely, I think the big one that stands out for me is the fact that it's now, yeah, they're open. They've handed the ball. It's in the NRL's court, and whatever happens from there on in. But I'm really excited and I really can't wait. And yeah, I guess from my perspective, honestly, it's just I've man, just to see the Rams come back, just how awesome will that be? It'll be amazing. It'll be absolutely amazing. Um, to sort of further on with that as well, I guess another expansion team, um, Perth, and I believe yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, they actually brought together their board, so their committee, to form the Perth team, the Perth Bears, that is. It looks like things are obviously heading into motion, um, which is a good thing for them, and obviously what they're trying to do regarding 2027. But I guess one thing I wouldn't mind talking about, I don't know, I'll throw it here and there. There are some players, off contract players, I'm not sure if you know about. I'm happy to talk about them, that are actually off contract for 2027. And I've actually seen some of those players, and I'll tell you what, guys, the Perth Bears, especially if they're given a bit of money, they've got a few good players to actually look at. What are your thoughts about that as well? Like a team like Perth getting some really good players. Do you like that idea? Do you not like that idea? Where do you sort of stand as well? Putting into context as well from a Sea Eagles fans lens as well.
Um, we'll take it as I'll start off by as a Manly Sea Eagles fan. Hate seeing Manly Sea Eagles players leaving the Sea Eagles and going to another team. It's always great to keep our players and keep a team together, but I would, if they're going to go to another Australian team, what the Brisbane Bears of course are, good luck to them, and it's always great to be at the start of a brand new team. And overall, watch out NRL. If they pick up these players, they could be a formidable force as soon as they take to the field. We may not be waiting a couple of seasons for him to fit in. The team gels both on the field and the front office. They could be a formidable team right from the start. And if that happens, watch out, NRL.
Absolutely. And Darren, what I'm going to do is I want to tee off just some of the names that are actually going to be off contract for 2027. Are you guys ready? Because I don't think you guys are. All right, it's gonna surprise you. So, for example, from the Broncos, we got the likes of Jordan Ricky, Brendan Piakura, Grant Anderson. From the Raiders, we got the likes of Corey Horsburgh, right? Tom Starling, Xavier Savage, Hudson Young, um, Matty Mickelson. That's the English import. And then from the Bulldogs, you got the likes of Stephen Crichton. All right, there's a big name. You got the likes of Jacob Carraz, Jacob Preston, Matt Burton as well. If you go to the Dolphins, you got the likes of Daniel Saifiti, you got Jack Bostock, Morgan Knowles, and from the Titans, you got Cleese Haas, Chris Randall, and from the Sea Eagles, you got the likes of Luke Brooks, Lehigh Hopwate, Toru Taukola, Ben Trbojevic. So I've just named just a few little names there, ladies and gents. And you know, even the Panthers, Nathan Cleary, let's just talk about that right now. Let's talk. We'll put it in the spotlight. He's an exclusive first beyond. This is before anyone's even touched on this. 2025. When everyone's talking about it, 2026. Just remember, we spoke about this first. All right. So Nathan Cleary, do you see him in the future going to a team like the Perth Bears? Or do you think he takes sport? What do you think? Oh, it's a solid question to ask.
And it could happen. It'll be sad to see him leave the Panthers, and especially having his father as the coach. Breaking up the Cleary name at the Panthers, but I guess it would probably come down to how much the Bears are willing to pay him. But to have Nathan Cleary as one of your top players and a poster boy for your team, I can just think of the publicity and the fans. It'll be interesting to see how many of the Panthers fans would actually leave the Panthers and buy memberships and start to follow the Bears. It would be a major signing if they were to get his signature.
That's a very interesting dynamic you sort of brought there as well, Darren. That's right. I think I think NRL fans generally they still do support team first. What you're sort of seeing is you're actually getting fans or actually fans of a particular player instead of the team. Sort of like similar to your NBA or your soccer, if you're familiar with that. You know, it's yeah, that's right. So what you said is true. There could be a large shipment of Cleary fans becoming Bears fans if he does move, or if he moves anywhere, really. What are your thoughts on that, Darren?
Oh, definitely. It would be interesting to see when the Bears would come up and when they're scheduled to play the Panthers, what the fans that stayed with the Panthers would be like, and seeing how his dad works the magnets, how to play against him, and which plays he puts on the Nathan. It's something he's never had to do. Yes, they got that whole family dynamic, and it would be one game I would really like to see and it would look so weird, Nathan Cleary in a Bears jersey instead of State of Origin, because we see him, the only other jersey he puts on is State of Origin, so Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, for example, another player too from the Storm who's off contract, Cameron Munster. Can you imagine? Can you? Wait, I'll paint the scenario. Cleary at halfback, Munster at 5'8" for the Perth Bears. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? You would be salivating if you're a Perth Bears fan. You would be on top of cloud nine for all you North Sydney Bears fans as well, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, it's just sort of something I thought I'll tease you guys with. Just let you guys, dangle the carrot there, so to speak. But again, just rugby league, it's always going, it's always going. There's always contract here, contract there. And speaking of contract, Salwan Kobo is off to the Dolphins for next year, and I believe he only signed a year contract as well. So I reckon he'll be inking his name into that Perth Bears contract, I reckon, for 2027, just quietly. What do you reckon, Darren?
Oh, definitely. They've now, I'd say a lot of players are probably looking at the Bears and thinking, what could they get for a contract and whether they're able to move. Just another point I was just thinking about is, so we've got two brand new teams that are coming into the NRL. We've got the team from Papua New Guinea and we've got the Brisbane Bears. And while we're talking about players, you've now got the option of, well, we've got the Papua New Guinea, we've got the Bears. Which one do I get? Where would I feel safe? Where am I going to get the money? Do I want to leave? Well, for the players that are Australian, do I want to leave Australia for go live in another country? And so there'd be a lot of weighing up to do, and I'm just wondering if the Brisbane Bears would kind of take the top spot, and especially if they have families where before the Bears came in or announced to be the next NRL team, all they had to look at was all the other teams plus Papua New Guinea. But now they've got Brisbane, and if they can't get a spot in another Australian team or the Warriors, do I really want to put my family through Papua New Guinea? Maybe I should really start to talk to the Bears. I'm wondering if by the Bears coming in and being in the same position as Papua New Guinea, is it kind of going to be a disadvantage to Papua New Guinea getting like big names? Or let's just say Cleary, just for instance, or Munster. I don't know. Players may want to go to Papua New Guinea, but if they've got families, I wonder if they'll go, oh, well, I've got this offer on the table from the Bears. I think for family and just for safety, maybe I should take up that offer with the Bears. So I'm wondering if Bears coming in or Bears being announced as the next team is kind of going to be a disadvantage. That'll be interesting to watch with who each team signs.
Yeah, no, you're right there, Darren. And I guess what I'll do is I'll also sort of add on to that. Obviously, the NRL have incentivized that if you're going to play for the PNG team, it's tax free, so you don't get any tax on your dollars. So that's a big that's a bonus. But again, you've added the other questions as well: family, distance. Again, whether you like it or not, PNG is still technically a third world country, right? So you've got healthcare system as well. You've got things like that to sort of worry about, comfortability, familiarity, a lot of questions definitely that will be coming in, and a lot of huge talking points heading into the end of 2026, heading into 2027, and obviously 2028. So yeah, you're right. It's going to be interesting. There'll be a lot of debates, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of swings, a lot of hits, a lot of misses. It's going to be crazy. But you know what? We're here for it. And I guess to sort of conclude with all that as well, Darren, the ending question is, who will then be the 20th team? Right? That's the big one there, Darren. And yeah, I'll just ask you that question. Who do you think will be the 20th team?
Well, let me see. Let me see. Let me think about that. Ooh, could it be Adelaide?
Yeah, I reckon you're right. I reckon. Yeah, look, obviously we're all hoping it'll be Adelaide. I don't really see the need for another fifth Queensland team. There's no need. Four is suffice there. Unfortunately, Gold Coast fans, I want to call you guys out. Your team is struggling. Leave it at four. You're struggling. Well, the Gold Coast Times are struggling as is. All right, and they've got some pretty big name players there for their team. So I think four is fine there. I hear the argument for a Christchurch team, but again, as many people have said, it's an Australian comp. The Warriors are in. That's good enough, and I agree. Being a Warriors fan myself, and we just don't have the resources just yet, as stated by our own CEO and coaches. We just don't have this. We're about 10, 20 years away from realistically hosting or having another NRL team. To be fair with you, I don't think many people understand the intricacies and all the details that happen in rugby league in New Zealand. There's definitely a lot of loopholes you got to sort of go through. So it's not as simple as putting a team in Christchurch and going, in New Zealand, yeah, it just works a little bit differently than the ARL. And so, yeah, it's just going to have to be a different kettle of fish. So I just don't see it realistically happening, and I don't think it should. It's good, it's good in terms of fantasy, but I just don't think. So yeah, I think for me, it just leaves one option, one genuine option, and that's the Adelaide Rams, baby. So I'm looking forward to that one there, and hopefully that letter that you sent to the sporting minister gets the ball rolling, gets those conversations happening, and I'm sure we'll be able to hopefully South Australia fund another rectangle stadium. And just quickly as well on that, do you like? Are you an advocate for Cooper's Stadium, or do you reckon that they should build SA Gov should build another stadium to cater for the potential NRL team?
Um, I think another stadium would be very nice with a roof, whether that's a full-time closed roof or a uh, one that opens and closes, but definitely a stadium. At the last state election, the Liberals came into the election with a promise that if they won the election, we would have a rectangle stadium built. It was going to be built down by the Torrens. But of course, Labor won, and that whole idea of another stadium got quashed. I think Primarsh or Cooper Stadium would do for a short time, but I think when we get the teams that've got a real big fan base, of course they're going to come to Adelaide. I think another stadium that could cater for more fans would definitely be needed, and I got quite excited when I heard there was going to be a stadium was part of the Liberals' policy, and when they went into the last state election, but yeah, that of course they did it. Labor came in, and that wasn't on Labor's agenda. But I think another stadium, whether that's a multi-use stadium, because of course soccer is played on a rectangle stadium, whether it's Adelaide United and the Adelaide United women move into a used stadium and share the facility, or whether they stay at Highmarsh. It depends, but I think, yeah, Adelaide definitely needs a rectangular stadium. As I said, whether it has a full-time closed roof or one that can be open, yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess I'll say it as well. Um, you touched on it regarding the possible fixtures. You touched on it. The Rams playing Adelaide playing at Coopers, for example. I think. Well, actually, no. I'll actually scrap that for now. I will say though, what Labor is not to make this political, guys, but Labor are building. They're slowly they're building a skyscraper building, right? Apparently, so again, you can see that there's definitely a thought of growth, right? So what's to say that the stadium is probably it probably is in the back of their minds. Possibly, it could possibly be in the back of their minds. So I'll just throw that little piece there as well. But yeah, back to it as well. I think another reason why we needed a stadium as well, big time, is because obviously, if you think about the timetable, obviously you got the Crows, you got Power, you've got and I'm naming them because that's the reason why I think it just wouldn't work on a regular basis playing over an Adelaide Oval. Um, it just wouldn't. It wouldn't. If you're going to have an NRL team, a functional full-time NRL team in Adelaide, you just can't have your games on a regular basis in Adelaide Oval. Maybe, for example, if we made the fine, like a prelim or something like that, like a set. Yeah, sure, yeah. But besides that, you're just going to play most of your games over by Cooper Stadium or the next stadium. And yeah, and I like the sharing of the stadium as well with the Adelaide United team, possibly. So yeah, look, I just think it realistically makes sense that a new stadium is built, because that's just the only way I think Adelaide Rams we can actually function as a team. Because if it, say for example, we're in the comp, I don't know how it'll go um with Adelaide United. I just don't know how the fixture would go. Yeah, I don't know, but I like the idea of a new rectangular stadium. So hopefully that is pulled out. Um, Darren, yeah, is there anything else you want to say?
Um, it's also not just game time. They would also need a training venue, and so they could use during the week when they have their usual training. So it wouldn't be just for game times; it would be for training, and yeah, of course, that's where back in the late '90s, that's where the Rams used to play at High Night. But I think if it was full time, I think another venue and yep, maybe it could also be used for a concert venue. Who knows? But yeah, no, I'm all for another stadium and yes, yep.
Awesome, awesome. Well, look, I've definitely enjoyed chatting with you there, Darren. All things league and obviously expansion and everything in between. I think in saying that, I'm gonna sign off. But again, ladies and gents, just a reminder: we won't be on next week. We'll be on the following week. But again, Darren, thank you so much for having me on, brother. Appreciate it. And yeah, go the Blues and go the Rams.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. And yes, as Apai said, go the Blues. Excellent. I think that was good. And yeah. Now I guess now we just have to keep pressuring the NRL and yeah.
Yeah, we definitely do, and yeah, just a little chip away at it. Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you what, that was really awesome seeing that letter there, and just reading it out. Oh man, it just he's hope, and that's all you need is just hope. That's all you need, just a little bit of hope. So
And the letter it started off in tight, Dear Mr. Andrews, and the Andrews has been crossed out, Dear Darren. So it was not just the standard letter. Thanks very much for the letter, Mr. Andrews. We appreciate it. Blah blah blah. It's Dear Darren, and so some thought has gone into the letter to cross out my surname and put my first name. So yeah, yep. It's just one thing with elections. You never know whether she's going to be holding on to her position or not after next year. So, and if not, hopefully someone else will come in who's really good as a sports minister.
absolutely. And there was something else I wanted to say quickly before I log off. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'll probably bring it up to you again as a reminder. But yeah, in the in the coming months, maybe we can plan a monthly or every 2 monthly get together of Rams fans. We go to a little hall and have a yarn, whatever it is people do. But yeah, just talk all things Rams and just get together. We'll definitely got to try that.
Definitely. Now, I've put out some feelers, seeing if there's any interest. Is getting some interest. But I just got to try to find other avenues to get the word out to Ramsans. But no, all for it, all for the idea. I think that's great.
Awesome. And look, even if we sort of did it and a handful of people come, it usually happens that way, right? A few people come the first time, then it just grows and grows and grows from there. But yeah, no, I'm keen, and yeah, again, thank you, Darren, and enjoy. We'll talk again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Apai. Bye.
See ya.
Go the Rams.
Adelaide to bring it out from their own line. And set by some very willing Auckland defence. Push back a couple of metres. Kieran Wobble just goes from nothing now. Pick up Doherty. It's with the own line.
As now the Adelaide Rams make their way out onto Marathon Stadium for the first time.